Now, Embattled South African Finance Minister Mr. Pravin Gordhan heeded a call for transparency and made public all the correspondence between South Africa's Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, the Hawks, and his lawyers in an investigation that has created a rift between government agencies and shifted financial markets in the country. Now, this happened in the country for Mr. Pravin Gordhan, rather, left the country for the G20 summit together with Mr. Zuma yesterday, and he made the correspondence clear yesterday after being charged with using tax units to spy on politicians, including the presidency.
Last week, Pravin Gordhan was summoned by the Hawks, but he did not obey, claiming to have no legal obligation to do so. The management of this case by the Hawks seems to have intended to create a media event to humiliate the minister, part of a press release by the minister, who referred to the accusations as unfounded and slanderous.
Meyer is a former Minister of Constitutional Development, and he joins us on this issue. Welcome to the program, Mr. Ralph. Before we go any further, how serious are these charges against Mr. Pravin Gordhan, and what kind of impact do you see it will cause to the country, or probably to him as a person?
First of all, I would like to say that I don't think the minister is in troubled waters at all. The challenges that are being brought forward by the prosecuting authority, I don't think are very valid against the minister. And for that reason, the minister also obtained the legal advice that said to him that he should not take it too serious and he should carry on with his normal responsibilities as finance minister. I think there is a little bit of a political tussle here between various factions of the ANC. And unfortunately, the Minister of Finance is targeted by some people who would like to see him not in that position. But we have also seen that the minister has come out very strongly in response to the challenges, and he doesn't show any way of retreating from his position. So. Personally, I'm very comfortable with the situation in the sense that I think the minister is capable of handling the situation very well. He's very highly regarded not only within the ANC but also from different sectors of the South African business community. He's very highly regarded internationally, and I think we must see this as an unfortunate development, which is part of a political playoff within certain factions of the ANC.
Now, Mr. Ralph, you're somebody who has served in the government before, and do you think this issue will have an impact on his ambition to put the economy back on the rails?
I think that is a very good question, and the reaction to the news when it started to break earlier this week about possible questions to Minister Gordhan about previous activities within SARS and so on. The reaction of the markets and the reaction of the markets with regard to the currency response, I think, was an indication of the fact that he's held in very high regard, both inside South Africa but also by the international markets, and that any challenge to remove him from that position, from his position as Minister of Finance, will have a negative impact. So my reading is that was the reaction from the markets actually carried a very strong message to all concerned that he should not be removed and he should not be challenged. And I think thereafter, after this news came out clearly, there was an adequate reaction actually from from the authorities that included the president and the deputy president, who said they have full confidence in him. And that started to calm the situation. So I think Minister Gordhan is pretty safe where he is at the moment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Meyer, for giving us that input on this edition of the Morning Call. You can